Fighting might be easier outside of the cage, which means it's time for Verbal Tap. It is not necessarily more lucrative, and it certainly is not, than playing at a high level in the most sunny, beautiful market in the planet, which we have just learned, and this is a big moment for me. LeBron James, I'm your host, Kevin. Verbal Tap. 4 years, $154 million to the Los Angeles Lakers. Raph, controversial opinions previously. How do you feel about LeBron James today?
What are you talking about? Controversial? The only thing controversial about LeBron James is my undying love for him.
I'm so excited for this. First of all, awesome. I love how quickly Raph was like, that's a good guy. No, we're good. I mean, your post, you Facebooked that obviously he can win your best friendship forever with a championship, but he certainly has your attention in a positive way.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. Some of you might have some weird things where you remember me saying, I don't like LeBron all that much. I don't really care about him. That's all true.
It's fuzzy though, isn't it? Like it feels so fuzzy in the past. I don't.
Yeah. And here's the thing, guys. You should get your hearing checked because I have been consistent on the show as saying, man, that LeBron guy, he shouldn't shut up. He should say what he thinks. He should also continue to do great things for the children's and also basketball. Mm-hmm. Those have been my exact words on LeBron. So let me go ahead and say this, guys. Okay.
Welcome to the family. Long time, LA. Since the glory years, had so many titles. Rafa Esparza, LA native, fan, and enthusiast.
Yes, I've grown up with many different incarnations.
Still hates the Chargers. Fuck the Chargers.
I don't hate the Chargers.
We all hate the Chargers.
I mean, they're in a weird tailspin right now, so I can't really give you too much on this. I can tell you guys what I know, and what I know is this. I have always subscribed to this belief. I have always promoted California. I love California sports teams, and sometimes people say you have to choose between the Lakers and the Clippers, and I say, no, I don't. It's whoever brings me home a championship. Now, some people might call that a fair weather fan. I love the city, and I love the people who play sports in the city. So I don't really believe in borders. I'm just saying, okay? To make it a little more current, I guess. But here's the aspect of LeBron that I do recognize. I think he is a phenomenal basketball player. That's never really been in contention. I am overburdened with the amount of LeBron versus MJ talks that we always have to go through. I think that's a dumb media narrative by a sports-hungry, 24-hour sports cycle that we have to just say, well, let's discuss it because there's nothing else going on. So that part bugs me. The other thing that kind of has bugged me in the past about LeBron is we have to refer to him as King James LeBron. No, we don't. The motherfucker has on his social media King James. And I don't need that in my life. I think that's stupid. So, yeah, you play basketball, dude. Dope. But now you play basketball on the right side of the world. So here's what I put down. I said, I will enjoy you. You have my attention now. You have my respect here. You're not bad, obviously. But when you bring me home a championship, then I'll love you. That's my perspective. That's all. I don't think it's that rude or crazy or controversial. It's just bring me home a championship and daddy will love you.
2018 in the NBA is crazy. 2019 is going to be even crazier free agency wise because the cap is going up, which doesn't mean anything except teams can play players more money, so there's going to be more demand. Here's what's interesting. 4 years, $154 million. First of all, holy fucking ass, that's a lot of money. Second, Raph, this is kind of amazing. He's the best player in the world now in the best market in the world. Los Angeles, go F yourself. No one wants to play in New York under Mr. McRacist Dolan. Like, the guy's got a history, and that history ain't great. He might sell the team, which would be the best thing that has ever happened to it. He's a terrible owner, and he does not understand business or basketball. His dad gave him his money. That's what happens. Here's the world we live in. L.A. is the best market outside of Boston, which he wasn't going to go to. Not happening. They're not trading away 15 of their wings and assets. L.A. is amazing, Raph. I'm so excited. I wish I could be more pissed off for you. I'm just excited. I'm ready to see him in the yellows, the whites, The uniforms are just going to be unbelievable. He is going to rock that purple. The Lakers are back. Their odds just got boosted in Vegas. That's how important this guy is. And it's definitely more fun. So look out. This is good stuff.
Again, dope. Super excited. Always have loved LeBron. I think you can find any clip on the show.
Long history of Raph just loving LeBron James and what he does to the people around him.
There is one episode of this show entitled LeBron in it.
Yeah, I was like, there's at least 5, but there's definitely one that has the title.
There's one that you put LeBron in the title, and I was not super happy about that, but I allowed it. And I said, you know what? All right, fine. Then that's what the show was. Because I got to tell you guys, much like the whole LeBron versus MJ discussion, there was literally nothing in the MMA world that was happening. So we talked about that. But the reason we talk about this, Kevin, is because we are excited he's here. It's going to bring a whole bunch of new fucking life to the Lakers, who I've mentioned, not so great. And we bounce with that. Because you know what the nice part is? When you've won, you've also got to learn how to lose really badly when you're not great. And we've done a little bit of that. So it's going to be very exciting to see what happens. So congratulations to him. $154 million would essentially buy 1 year's worth of television rights from the UFC. So he could have just done it himself.
Raph, I know LeBron James would agree with me.
No.
We're all frustrated with the crowd of low quality, bad tasting, artificially flavored, blue for no fucking reason, nutritional products, loaded with a long list of questionable ingredients. We don't need that. We don't need the jittery stimulants. We don't need the environmentally irresponsible. What we need is a better path forward. Total body health that drives us. A team of people caring for our nutrition. ProvenNutrition.com. Raph asked the question, how much Proven Nutrition is too much? How much core is too much? Their staple drink. The answer is it's never too much. All you can do is feel better, longer, and roll longer. Raph was able to sustain like 54 pre-birthday rounds so he could buffet it. That's the Proven Nutrition method. Proven Nutrition.
Not gonna lie.
Go ahead.
I found something here today, Kev, which was, I've been drinking they give you like a little scoop. Mm-hmm. There's like the one in the bag where you can scoop it out and make like a large.
The tiny little one size. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know that there were the packets. See, I didn't thoroughly investigate my care package from Proven Nutrition.
What?
So when I got the tiny little ones, I was
you
like,
didn't
what
know
are you
about
doing?
The single serves?
No. So I literally have been living off that. And I had to email Richie and I said, yo, dog, it's getting real dire. I'm starting to get real low on it. And he laughed his ass off. He saw me put together a video that I did today while training. 100%. We drank the product. We are believers. We love it. But everybody who saw me train today after wrestling saw me open a new water bottle with the little mini packets. And they go, what's that? I was like, oh, it's Proven Nutrition Core. And when I take a drink from it, I put myself on video. And the joke I said was, I go, this is Proven Nutrition Core. And the reason I drink it is because I don't have one. So I'm hoping that by drinking it, I can get a core for myself. Now, I can't prove that that's scientifically possible, but
right.
Go. Delicious.
Go. ProvenNutrition.com. Kevin 10, Raph 10. You get a little kickback. Get a little, hey, thanks for keeping the pirate ship afloat.
Absolutely.
Raph, sometimes you're trying to exercise, you're trying to do jiu-jitsu, and you can feel your underwear cottoning around, getting loose, because someone does that thing where they grab your pants and the top, because they're like, you're about to pass, can't have that, need this extra grip. Choose to go to northsouthjujitsu.com. You can get their white 3-pack, you can get their black urban camo white, you can get a nice mixture, and the baddest ass men's compression spats black in the business. They also have an unbelievable selection in the women's. It's important. Oh, they have cool spats. Yeah, I just went to the women's side. Okay. It's important to have your hips and your securities covered around that girthy area. I'm speaking of myself. Obviously, I have girthy hips. I have big Blanche from the Golden Girls style hips. Go to northsouthjujitsu.com. Order the A4s. They're going to fit anything. Order the A3 if you're a normally sized human being. Order the A2s if you're fit. And A1s if you're ready for the rooster weight situation. Please go to northsouthjujitsu.com. There's just no one better when it comes to protecting all of the goodies.
Kevin, the time we've talked, and mind you, this is all breaking news.
Uh-oh.
In the time we've talked, the internet has produced a meme of LeBron James's head over Tupac's To Live and Die in L.A.
So LA's excited. LA's ready. LA's like, God, we needed this. Shut up. Of course we were happy with the team. God, we needed this.
Can I tell you there's been no greater, I guess, 6 weeks, if you listen to this show, of me being like, oh, are we done with the NBA? Do you guys want to talk a little bit more about the NBA?
Hey, what about next season? Isn't there there's juice?
It's looking great.
You haven't even traded for Kawhi yet, so let the world breathe. Everybody's getting better. Cool. Raph, we're going to talk UFC 226.
Yeah,
but I would like to say one thing first.
What's that?
Johnny Hendricks retires from the UFC. Very good fighter. Amazing fighter. GSP level contention. Great middle American wrestler story that was in contrast to the French Canadian.
Did you talk about me?
I thought if I said it would summon him. I was like, surely he'll call. He'll be like, hold on. Someone's mimicking me that shouldn't.
You can never talk about GSP without GSP hearing. You get super hearing.
What do you say to Johnny Hendricks retiring? The big one.
I remember the first time I retired. It was a good time. It was after, I think, actually, I fought Johnny Hendricks. And when I fought Jimi Hendrix, I remember one thing, which was
not Jimi Hendrix. Johnny Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
No.
Which I thought he looks very good for playing Woodstock and coming to fight me. But you guys have weird American tradition. Anyway, I fight him and then I go, ow, my head. Ow, it hurt. It hurt so much that I retire for 4 years. Then I fight Michael Bisping and I'm back. But now I'm not. Anyway, long story short. Long story short is GSP has very nice words for him, which is congratulations on your retirement. I look forward to seeing you in Bellator.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zing, Georges St. Pierre, champion. And at the podcast, I think all of us are just excited for the local restaurant community in wherever the hell Oklahoma I think he lives, or Texas. Doesn't matter. Barbecue places, be on alert. Have the Johnny Hendricks ready. He's headed to you unabashedly. There is no one that I expect to see doing weird commentary weighing 340 pounds more than Johnny. If he doesn't, I'm going to be disappointed, Raph.
Johnny Hendricks is also going to really blend in well to that dad demographic who, you know, when he puts on his glasses and what he normally wears, he definitely looks like he's taking his kids to a soccer game. So
I'm ready to coach.
That's just what he does.
I'm polite and I'm excited to coach.
You put out something that was really nice, and I want to continue on this trajectory, which was, you know, Josh Koscheck retired. And there was something
Joshy Koch
really interesting about the way that people responded about that, which was, okay, so, you know, Hendricks retires and people go fat, which, I mean, he did miss weight a few times. And I think it was like 5. So I get it. However, on the other side, when Josh Koscheck retires, people go, old news, whatever. And it kind of makes me laugh that whenever we see people not have any form of civility, I just go, I mean, do we have to do that? We understand he hasn't been relevant, but I mean, it kind of goes without saying. Just for 2 seconds, just say, cool, thanks, or I don't care. And then maybe on the next day go, he was never relevant. But I love the fact that our fans were like, I've been waiting 9 years to say this to you, Josh Koscheck. So, different era. Kev, can I also say this real quick?
Hit me.
Yo, I'm going to be covering the fights out here in Burbank, the Marriott Center. So here's what I'm saying to you guys. CXF Heavy Hitters, Friday, July 6th, Burbank, Marriott. For tickets, go to MMATIXX.com. That again, MMATix.com. I will be there. I'll be interviewing some of the guys who are fighting. I may go to the weigh-ins. We'll see. I mean, I can't promise you guys everything. It's going to be the day after the 4th of July. I don't know how hungover I'm going to be, honestly. And I feel for these fighters who, as we've aforementioned, have weight cuts the week of fucking 4th of July. So props to them. And but I for sure will see you Friday over at CXF.
Raph, let's go do a little interviewing and me destroying someone LeBron style. Over.
All right, Kev, UFC 226. It's the July card. We know whenever there's a July card, they try their damnedest to tell us it's the card of the year until December.
They do usually make a push to make this like a huge... obviously, it's patriotism and not capitalism, but they try to make this a huge push over the July 4th week. That's big for them.
And this is Dana White telling his fans and friends and employers, hey, fuck you guys. You're not going to fucking get a fucking barbecue. You come in, you do this fucking shit.
Yeah, and toughest for the fighters. No Wednesday barbecue for the fighters out there.
Yeah. Well, that is tough.
Well, unless it's your DC this time. Hey-oh.
So here's the thing, Kev. Big card requires big guest. And when I say big guest, I'm talking real rivalry. I'm talking you got to bring somebody on this show to take on you on Over Under Kevin who might not like you. I mean, there's a possibility that he might harbor some bad feelings. And I'm not saying for you as a person, but maybe you, the podcaster, Kevin, because maybe in some other realm we're considered their rivals. And I think there's no better episodes than when you bring on two separates. I'm talking Flintstones and Jetsons, cats and dogs. This is what I'm talking about right now, Kev. Do you understand what I'm saying?
A little bit.
Okay, I'll get to the real point.
Multiple metaphors confuse me. You know that.
Which is why I only used two. I was going to go in the third one because comedy rule of three says three, but yikes. Let's bring on a rival podcaster, one who is a legitimate human being, an excellent coach, an excellent jiu-jitsu practitioner, and the host, or one of the hosts, of the MMA Finishers podcast, and the host of his own gym, one might say, which, Kevin, guess what it's named?
10th Planet. South Bronx? No. South Bronx?
No, it's not South Bronx. It's also MMA Finishers because they decided to keep the branding.
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen,
good call.
Please welcome our good friend, Zach Maslany. Zach, how are you doing, sir?
Yo, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me on.
Excellent. So here's the thing. When I call you or I send you a message and I say, hey, come on our show, when you know that we're the other guys who do a podcast, what goes through your head?
I just think that you guys may be hurting for ratings or something, so you want to bring on a real podcast guy maybe, or
Jackpot.
I don't know. That's the first thing that goes through my head.
Interesting. Cool. So you've already checked the box on being an East Coast know-it-all. I love the fact that we have somebody who's done less than 150 episodes telling us how to do the job, Kevin. But what are your first impressions of Kevin?
Is that to him still? Because
this is to you. To you.
Oh, well, my first impressions, Zach works way too hard to be good at this game. To be good at talking shit, he sounds exhausted. He has to actually fight and teach. No. Way too much work.
I could talk some shit in my day, though. And I do it mostly behind closed doors so I don't piss a lot of people off. But if brought out in the right occasion, I can slang with the best of them.
Were you raised in Pennsylvania? Is that where were you raised?
Yeah, Pennsylvania. Yeah, East Coast for life. I've been out here for
East Coast high school is like a master's degree in shit talking. Like if you went to high school on the East Coast and just survived.
Yeah. You got to be ready to take some shit. Like, like their bullying is huge nowadays, but I felt like that's just growing up. I mean, you're going to get the crap kicked out of you a couple of times, and then eventually, hopefully, you come out on the other side. But I will say the first couple of times I came to the West Coast, I was like, wow, people are way nicer out here than they are back home.
Yeah, that's usually kind of the crux of what we're known for. We're just too laid back to care is usually what it comes down to. It's like you might be talking shit to us, but it's like, yeah, but I got a beach here and it's a nice one, so do what you want.
That's true. You do got us on that. It snows like balls out here, and that sucks. And I think that makes people more pissed off. I think that really pisses people off. You know,
I 100% see that.
Fucking cold. I can't take this. And everyone calls each other pussies, and you know, everyone's a pussy, that type of thing. But that's part of what hypes me up, though. Everyone asks us why we always talk shit, and I think that hypes us up to do our job. Like, I have arguments on my head with guys who they don't think about me ever, but I'm acting like as if they're pissed off at me or they did something to my family, and I want to, you know, it hypes me up. It hypes me up to get going. It hypes me up to fight.
Well, that's a good way of introducing this. You fought MMA. How did that transition happen?
From just, I think I started doing karate when I was a kid, and East Coast was real big on karate. We didn't get jiu-jitsu till later, so everybody just wanted to go in and kick and punch the shit out of each other. And then, you know, once Henzo opened up out here, then people started starting to get into jiu-jitsu. But, yeah, MMA, I don't know. When I was younger, I was way more, I was like a mean teenager and all pissed off. And I think that's what led me into getting into the fighting sports. But, you know, nowadays I'm getting older, so I just, you know, I don't have to, you know, jump in the cage anymore and be a maniac. I'm too old now. I'm 35, bro. I'm an old man. I'm a grown ass man.
I like that in MMA years, it's just like, and that's me being 79, you assholes. Zach, I've always been interested in this because, you know, you guys have done such great things over there in terms of, you know, your jiu-jitsu solid. I'm a fan there. You have a gym that is amazing. You guys produce some spectacular human beings. And this is what I love about you guys. You guys are so proficient in saying, like, you may not know all of us, but look at the people you do know and just know the people who are training with them are also monsters. And I think that's easily understood when you've got monsters like Thor and Grace. We love seeing them compete as well. But at what point do you say to yourself, you know, we just need to do a podcast?
You know what? I think for us, the reason why we started the podcast, man, is because, I mean, obviously I was already a fan of Joe Rogan. You know, I listened to a bunch of different podcasts, but like, when I feel like I felt like probably there's an East Coast thing coming out of me again, but I felt like we weren't getting some of our just due and some of the love that a lot of the West Coast guys get that are in my, you know, in my organization and in my field. So I figured, you know what, if we start a podcast, no one's going to listen to me. I'll just start talking. Like, I don't have a voice out there. You know what I mean? Like, how do I get besides social media? So I figured, you know what, I'll just start talking shit on a podcast and, you know, talking about what we're doing. And if people listen to it, good. And if anyone wants to hear me talk some shit or break news on whatever we're doing next, then tune into the podcast. So that's kind of why we started it. You know, we just wanted to be able to get our voice heard and talk about people like, you know, I talk about myself a lot, and I know, and I am decent, you know what I mean? But I really feel like I don't get to talk about our students as much. Like, I want to really boast them up, you know what I mean? I want to put them out there. So that's one of the ways we figure we do it. If they're not going to, you know, put us on, you know, if you're not going to talk about us on the West Coast, we'll talk about ourselves. I guess I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. You guys run your own PR agency, so you just say, like, all right, if you're not talking about us, then fuck it, we'll do it ourselves. Because here's the nice part.
Didn't the mob own the news? Didn't they, like, have the news? Because back in the day, I'm pretty sure the mob was making sideways deals with the news and with the papers, and, you know, that's how they were able to, like, you know, make themselves look good and keep certain things out of there. So I'm pretty sure the mob was involved with the news.
Yeah, let's just go with back in the day and not currently. Let's just sleep with that piece.
Probably the same deal.
All right. I'm watching some videos, some Zach Maslany guy, you know, ref fucking Foot Locker. He's a Foot Locker. I'm just going to say it out loud. He also will attack the feet.
Now, here's the other thing that you may not know, I guess, a ton about Zach. Because here's the thing I do like about you and JM. When I hear you guys talk on your podcast, it is you guys. And I know JM fairly well. We've done an interview before, and he's always been super nice to us. So when you hear you guys, it is 100% legitimately like you guys are in the room with you.
That's what we're going for sure.
Yeah. Now, I guess the other part that I would say, just as some, feedback from, podcasters. One thing that I would say about JM, and I don't know if you know this too, but we all have our things that we like to say a lot. One of the things I always hear JM say is, you understand me? No. Listen, you guys aren't even there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm talking about? And I'm like, I do, dog. Just do me a solid. Stop saying that.
You know what? I did. I don't know if I got him, or if maybe I got him saying something stupid like that, or But then lately, people have been busting his chops. He was on D-Mac's podcast, and he was saying something like he might have kept saying, "Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?" And
yes.
I didn't really notice it, but he noticed it, and then other guys made a big deal out of it. So I'm gonna have to go back and check into that.
I 100% when I was interviewing him, good job. When I was interviewing him, I heard him say it, and I kept looking at him, and I kept doing that little thing that you try to signal to the interviewee as if all right, that is a choice. Maybe perhaps not do that again. Okay, yeah, and I have no control over this.
Yeah, I've done when I first started doing MMA commentary for a local MMA show, I probably said or 50,000 times. I still say that, but I did it 20, 30 times in a row, and the guy was looking at me. The other guy was looking at me stop saying that. Stop doing that. I guess they call it verbal frying. Right? He's looking for an armbar. And he was like, dude, you got to stop saying that.
They're known as filler words, if you would. And it happens. My thing is always, you're a human being. So as long as you're communicating stuff and you're trying to throw in things in there, you're going to have your filler words come in and out. But Kev, he brings up an interesting point. Zach, our pal here, he is known for doing MMA commentary. He's doing the after interviews that I've been seeing in some photos. Ooh. And I have one issue here that he made one of the biggest mistakes one can make when stepping onto a mat that is in the what we like to call the Josh Palmer Hall of Fame, which is he stepped on with brown shoes onto the mat. But what kind of socks were you wearing, dog?
They were just were they just black ones? They might have been black Guess ones, and they were two different black Guess ones also.
Yeah, dog. It's a rough life. I mean, so do you guys step on the mats with your shoes over there? You tell me how you do things over there. I don't know.
No, but so here's the thing. I asked the Pennsylvania, and you guys maybe can you can look this up. The Pennsylvania State Boxing Commission is in control of the MMA out here, and I'm not gonna lie, they suck ass. I hate them. And they're garbage. And it's mostly just one guy. And I'm not going to name his name, but I'm sure everyone can figure out who it is.
Sure.
But he is ridiculous. It's not even funny. He has so many crazy rules. You're not allowed to wear a hat in the corner. You can't wear a hat in the corner. So, one time I was wearing a hat, he literally slapped it off while I was coaching one of my guys.
Whoa.
And, they have all types of rules. I heard that the UFC doesn't even want to come back to Pennsylvania because of that guy. So he's done crazy things with weight cutting and all this different stuff. And that time I was like, I want to go. When I first started doing it, none of them were on. None of them are filmed. And I went to go get up, and I was like, I'll just take my shoes off real quick before I jump into the cage. And he's like, no time for that. Just go. And he just shoved me in. And you're standing in there with your shoes on the mat where people's faces are and stuff. It's gross. Even the camera guys, when they come in, they're coming in with their shoes on and all that stuff. So, but yeah, and my socks were completely wrong. A couple guys gave me shit on the internet for my socks. So, I am working on that. I'm seeing a counselor as we speak.
Excellent. I just wanted to make sure. Because, Kev, I mean, it's only happened a couple times, but when it does, it's not unforgivable. But now that I have the intel about the shoes, I'm just mad at, first of all, you don't slap a hat off another human being.
It's bad. You gotta look up the Pennsylvania Commission. It's clown shoes out here.
So proper attire of contestants, which can be found in section 29.7. Shoes, subsection C. Contestants may not wear shoes or padding on their feet during competition. I cannot find what it says about Angry 10th Planet commentators, but I'll keep looking under subsection.
Somewhere. It's in the fine print.
Subsection B, ref, and Zach, shirt or gi. Male contestants may not wear a shirt or gi during competition. Female contestants shall wear a body shirt and blouse during competition. Meaning, if I am to read this at the letter of the law, if we got female fights in PA, they would be letter of the law bound to wear blouses. So
yeah, dude, he's on fire with it, man. Like I said, he's crazy. I'm just waiting. Everyone's just out here waiting for him to retire and give it to someone else, so that way we can get on with our lives.
Also, free the gi, Pennsylvania. Go fuck yourselves. If I want to fight MMA in a gi, I'm an idiot, but it's my choice. You don't need to be regulating what I choose to traditionalize.
I don't understand. Eddie Bravo is big on that too. Why do they restrict what people are wearing? I mean, why does everyone have to fight in their underwear? I don't understand that. And why can't you wear spats? I don't see why you can't wear spats if you're a male. Like, why can't you wear cool, colorful tights?
Yeah.
Maybe people are, they don't want to have their legs and all slippery and touching another man's legs. You could, throw some spats on.
Free the tights.
I don't know. They don't allow it though.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, this is
also
fun. I got wrapped. Heavy
when you're talking about
when you're
talking about the spats though. When you're talking about the spats though, that's also an opportunity to get some free advertisements in there. So you're just like, you're taking my ability to make some more money here too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm usually for the fighters, but these guys, they have they just have pretty crazy rules, and there's no reason for it. I think they could just loosen up a little bit, be a little more West Coast. You know what I mean? Don't be so East Coast out here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about a few things because I want to get back on the happier side of things, which is Kev. You should know this about him too, and I'm not saying question his intelligence, but he has brought on Eric Medina and Joey House on one of their next shows that they have. I believe it is the sub only finishers MMA, M McDonald's, Subway, Monopoly Money brings you this tournament. There's 9 different people who bring this tournament together.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about this tournament you guys got coming up.
The tournament. So it's just called the finishers. Whatever the number is. So we just did the finisher sub only. We called the first one, and then up to number 6 right now. This is our 6th one, and we started adding. We had we used to do 2 16-man brackets for cash prize, EBI rules, no gi, and we get just West Coast gets all the big tournaments like EBI and stuff. So here on the East Coast, we just decided to run our own one. At the time, there were no other ones, but there might have been some going down on the West Coast. I know Grappler's Quest back in the day used to have some pretty solid submission-only tournaments for money, but we just basically copied exactly EBI and just ran with it out here. And what has been pretty cool is most of the guys who win the tournament or get close to winning it usually make it into EBI. It's not like a legit qualifier, like it's 100% qualifier, but usually if you win a 16-man tournament on the East Coast, same idea as EBI. If Eddie's going to pick people to throw in there, I mean, might as well take someone who won a tournament exactly.
That's pretty
like
badass.
That. So, that's kind of really what we did. And it's not like I never asked him hey, can this be a qualifier or anything like that. I just kind of let it happen, and then when the guys win, we go from there. So the first one we ever had, the 170 division, was run by Gordon Ryan, and I don't even think that dude can make 170 ever again. And then the dude at 55 is Mike Davila. And he ended up going to, they both obviously made the NBA. Everybody knows Gordon. Davila got in, and then a bunch of guys ended up from the tournament just constantly getting in. Every time someone wins, you know what I mean? PJ Barch won one. I'm trying to think. There's just a ton of dudes. And now what we're doing is running super fights too. So if you don't want to do the division, I'll put on some high-level super fights too and try to get those guys either cash or, something for their effort. So it's like a tournament for competitors by competitors. We all compete. So, and it's cool because everyone just comes together out here. It's like a big party.
100%. Every time I see the footage from it, you guys pack it in. It looks like a lot of fun. I do have one thing. So does Jay do the commentary on that with you guys?
Jay Regabluto. Yep, Jay Regabluto. PJ Wakus down here at the Finisher Sub-Own tournament. I love
That's good. I like that. Jay and I are in a little bit of beef ourselves, and I'll explain what that is. So here's what's happening. I take photos at EBI. Okay, now I made it very clear. If EBI is ever looking for somebody else to be a broadcaster, not naming names, I should be in line. I've made my case. I've been at all the EBIs except for 2. Jay does this very smart thing of putting his face, not just a, hey, maybe consider me, but his face and an actual thing that says Jay Regal Burrito for EBI commentary. Now
I did see that.
I'm editing this photo and I'm thinking to myself, why am I fixing this photo for someone else to get the job? That doesn't make any sense. And as soon as I'm fixing up the photo in post, I literally took 2 seconds and I go, you know what? I know how to fix this. And I just put my face over his. And I said, haha, take that, you dork. So Jay and I are in a little bit of friendly beef because he does a great job for you guys over there. I mean, not me great, but like him great. So I like seeing that he does that with you guys. So tell me, what is the division? What is all the stuff that we need to know about this one upcoming, and when is it?
Yeah, so August 11th is going to be our first ever. We're calling it the Finishers Open. So it's for everybody: white belts, blue belts, purple belts, and up. Like just an EBI rules tournament. All weight classes: 135 men's, all the way up to like 200 something women's too. The website for that is finishersjujitsu.com. Has all the info up there. And then August 12th, we're having the following day. It's going to be in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, at Subforce BJJ. And on the 12th is going to be the 16-man EBI rules tournament, along with Joey and Eric and a whole bunch of the guys competing in random super fights. So Eric's got a really tough match. He's facing a black belt from Henzo's, which is dope. And then Joey has another tough match. He's facing another brown belt from one of the Henzo schools. So I'm excited to see those guys and face dudes from the East Coast, which is going to be dope. So I hope they kill guys out here.
I'm absolutely looking forward to them getting wrecked. So that's what I'm hoping for. I think they're going to do great. I don't want them to win, though. Because you know what happens when they win? They come back and they're all like, we won a tournament. It's like boring. Everybody wins tournaments.
And then they talk shit, and then their heads get big.
Yeah, and it really, they try to make fun of the fact that my head's big, but the actuality of that is my head's just very giant. So it's not like I have a giant ego. It's just a large head. So, them's the jokes that they try with me. But let's do this. We're going to transition into this game of betting for UFC in just a second. But I want you to make the real appeal, my man. Tell people why they should be tuning into this, because I love the fact that you're recognizing lower belts. I think that's really nice of you guys because nobody gives them love. And I was curious when you guys were doing that. I was like, dope. That looks really cool that you have that plus the like big showcase the next day. So if I'm somebody listening to this and I'm asking myself, why should I tune into this other than maybe having a barbecue on August 11th and 12th? Like, sell me as to why I should watch this.
Well, I think the main thing is that all the guys who end up, first of all, it's East Coast, so a lot of guys don't get to see the East Coast make moves out here. But when they do tune in, a lot of the guys you're going to see are dudes who are eventually going to be the next, Craig Jones, next Gordon Ryan, the next crop of guys coming up. You get to see Danaher's crew guys. You get to see the East Coast 10 Planet guys. Plus, you get to see some of your favorite guys from the West Coast, too. So, and I feel like this is the underground of tournaments. This is like the 8 Mile, if you will, of submission-only tournaments. So if you want to be in the underground, this is going to be the tournament for you.
You need to run with that. I think that's the best marketing you guys have. If you guys want to see the 8 Mile of jiu-jitsu tournaments, yes, make that a fucking promotional poster. Kev, do you have anything that you'd like to say before you have to get mean to Zach?
Please make them rap before their matches. Please make them. Please make. All right, your topic is childhood trauma. Boom, boom, boom. That's.
We thought about that. I can't freestyle though, so.
Damn it! Next time we'll talk. Well, you're fantastic, Zach, and despite the shit I'm about to talk to you, I always respect people that are making extra tournaments and making fun. In the EBI, it's just a fun format. It is. There's no denying it. Whatever your standards are, it's just really fun. So it's pretty cool that I look forward to touring the East Coast and having to inevitably stop and train with you. You kind of,
Nice.
from what I've seen, you fight like a bigger guy despite not being a bigger guy, which is always fun.
Yeah, I try to. I'm big and otherwise.
Nope. All right. That's as good a time as any to transfer to the next part of our show, Over Under Kevin.
And now it's time for the thrilling installment of Over Under Kevin.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the next segment of the show that we like to call Over Under Kevin. It's a very simple premise. The way we work is we go through a UFC pay-per-view card. We give each participant 15 seconds to say who they think is going to win for each fight. If I so deem it, I give them 15 seconds of rebuttal time. More than anything, more than any correct pick, more than any astute analysis, we treasure here on Over Under Kevin shit talking. Of course, we still end up going by like whoever gets the most amount correct on that thing. That's a whole other issue. Gentlemen, do you both understand the issues and the rules? Kevin, do you?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Zach, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Great. Zach, is there anything you would like to say before we get into the heavy portion of the show to your opponent, Kevin?
Let's play the dozens.
Oh, shit. Okay. He's taking this real to the East Coast fucking streets, Kevin. Are you ready to go to the streets, Kev?
I'll tell you what I'm ready to do, Raph. That's defend low-level grapplers. Mr. Snotty McAttitude, I fight MMA and run a gym, was like, I want to provide a whatever place for people with high-level grappling. It was like, hey, sir, I want to live in a world where we can all grapple together. High-level, low-level, mid-level, overweight level. I don't need his subjugation already, Raph, and I'm prepared to defend our honor.
I think I understood about 85% of what you just said, Kevin. So let's go straight into the game. All right, our first bout, Kevin, you're going to lead off on this one, is a lightweight bout between Dan Hooker and Gilbert Burns.
Easy. You know I'm picking Hooker. It's always Hooker. There's an 8. Look, I'm excited for Dorino. Good times for him. But there's always like a 10% child in me that just wants Hooker to get yelled out loud at a UFC event. I cannot help that.
All right. Zach, what do you have for us?
I'm going to have to pick that guy, El Torino Burns. How can you go against a Brazilian, dude? You get jiu-jitsu fan. This guy's going to take him down. Submit him. Easy. No problem.
Wow.
Burns.
I want to make sure that our audience understands that we didn't just put an East Coast setting on a robot and have them talk shit, because that was exactly picture perfect the way you would program artificial intelligence to talk shit. All right, Kev, what do you got in response to that?
Yeah, I can already see where this is going. This is one of those guys that's going to bob and weave, and you're not going to see him because of height. And he's used to being this elusive with the truth. This is a 2018 ref.
All right, I have this question for one Zach. Zach, I was very intrigued here. You did a Brazilian accent, but your competitor in this is Kevin, who is very white. Do you feel that you lost him on that?
Possibly, but I don't give a shit.
All right, not using your full 15 seconds. I'm loving. Oh,
I can
okay.
confirm
Excellent.
on behalf of white people I was lost.
Okay. I just I like that he said Boa as if it was like he needed to have an exclamation mark. He was like, hold on. Boa. Okay, and I'm out. All right, we go to our next fight.
I'm
It's
actually
a welterweight
thankful,
bout.
Ref, that you told me I had already started to call the police, but I am glad I now know to call that off. Thank you.
Kevin, I don't know if many people know this about Kevin. Kevin calls the police
all the time
on when Brazilians are having a picnic.
Someone yells,
so he's going to
Boa.
be soon a meme. Just him on a cell phone looking really angry with sunglasses. It's great. We
How
love
did you
it.
know they were Brazilian? You just hear?
It doesn't matter. They look close enough. That's my motto. See something, say something. That's the graph. Next
This guy sounds like a narc.
It's not too far off. And just as a legitimate thing, I want to make sure people understand this
Wait
about
a minute.
me.
Hold on a second. Are you a cop? Because if you're a cop, you have to go.
I am not a cop.
That's a law, dude.
Wink.
I like that. I like that Zach has incorporated entrapment rules into over/under, Kevin. But I want to make sure that people understand this rule, which is that what I was saying before is I really, really have started saying the word appreciate to everybody now.
Yeah.
It was really, really hard not to do at Worlds. Whenever like somebody came up to me and asked me to do something, I go, "Oh, my brother, my appreciate," and I go, "What the fuck am I doing?" I have to stop.
I almost said
doing
Boja Carayo to Murillo Santana, and then I thought he would knock my face off, but luckily I didn't. I caught myself. Or imagine saying that to John Jocks or something.
To be fair, Jean-Jacques knows my brand of idiocy, so I feel
you're Hispanic. You get away
it's
with
okay.
it. He's in.
All right, we're going to our next bout. It is a welterweight bout between Paul Felder and Mike Katy Perry. Zach, you start us off on this one. 15 seconds go.
Ooh, I'm going to have to take I think it's the Irish Dragon, Paul Felder. He's from this area of Philly out here, and karate guy, so I feel like he's going to spin kick the shit out of him, and he's going to kill the other guy in the face with punches and kicks.
Ooh, Kevin, do you foresee a storm of punches and kicks in this fight?
God, I fucking hope so. Few things give me joy like watching Mike Perry get punched and kicked in the face. It's one of those things that just feels good. Feels like summer and sangria. I'm going to choose Platinum Mike Perry because I think he's going to be pissed off. He's opening up the show on UFC Fight Pass.
Are we supposed to be making fun of Mike Perry at this point, though? I feel
Yes.
like there's a lot in the ether we're supposed to make fun of him for. Do you agree with that, Zach?
Yeah, I feel Mike Perry's just like a local douchebag guy that went to my high school, and that's why I can't. I just feel like he's some D-bag guy from the Jersey Shore that I just can't get into. And no matter what, I can't like him.
Spitting hot ditto, rap. I cede my time in agreement. I agree. I concede the point.
I want to make sure our listeners understand one thing. When I said I'm going to bring on somebody who's hot fire, who's going to talk shit, never, ever say I disappoint you in who I book on this show. We're going to our next bout. It is a heavyweight bout between Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis. Kevin, you start us off. 15 seconds ago.
Okay, first of all, I cannot believe this is not the fight. This is not the main fight. It should be. It should be. This round, no way this goes to a second round due to cardio reasons. And I am going with Francis Ngannou, though. Oh, man. So, the loser might die.
Okay.
On accident.
Right. Zach, what do you got for us on this one?
Dude, I'm taking the Black Beast all day. Ngannou's got zero cardio, and the Black Beast has got a gut, but he's got a little bit of cardio, and he's going to come in there and he's going to beach ball him with his stomach and knock his head right off. There's no way. Ngannou, he doesn't have a chance.
Okay, I want to
Most
put
exciting fight. Most exciting fight.
I want to put a pin on this because
you got to thank Uncle Dana for putting this one together. I mean, come on. This is a dream fight. This is like Tank Abbott versus Tank Abbott. You know what I mean?
I want to go to Kevin on this one. It was said and agreed upon that no cardio exists in this fight.
Zero. Yeah.
Except Zach said that he feels that Derek has just like a little cardio.
I agree.
Does
I'm with
that
him.
feel like something that you understand and agree with? Or is there some form of cardio that we're not considering? Say, for example, they put Ronda Rousey in front of Derek Lewis.
No, I think I think the cardio has been well considered. Derek Lewis is Francis Ngannou genuinely couldn't fight by round 2 of his last one.
That's
And
fair.
Derek Lewis is huge and I think retired once. So the fact that
I'm pretty sure he retired.
the fact that he's back doesn't boast about his I was just tired of running half marathons. I don't think that's what happened.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go on over. It sounded like Zach had something you want to interject here. What do you got for us, sir?
I feel like, has either of those guys ever gone for a takedown?
No.
That might be the ace in the hole.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
interesting.
Someone goes for a takedown out of nowhere. Who knows?
Okay. I like where you're going on this because I like the idea of asking. You know, when you ask a kid to be a little too athletic a little too early and you go, oh, my God, that's too much to expect of them. I feel like that's what you mean when you say, oh, one of you should go for a takedown. They both look at each other like, no. It's not really what I'm known for, but okay. If you put a little extra show bonus money on that, that'd be great. Zach, you go on this next fight. It's a strawweight bout between Jamie Moyle and Emily Whitmire. Go.
I have no idea who those people are, so I'm going to take Emily Whitmire for the win and just say that she probably sounds white and she's very white, and maybe she's a kickboxer from like Dutch or Dutch kickboxing or something. I could be way off on this, but I'm going to go with her.
Excellent. We have Zach going down white lines. What do you say, Kevin?
Well, he couldn't be more right. She is extremely white. So is her opponent-ish. Jamie Moya. I mean, the UFC picture doesn't always necessarily pre-light. I'm going to go with Jamie Moya just out of 2 more fights, not because I know any more than he does. I might know less.
Okay. I'm excited for both of these fighters to find out about themselves when they enter the cage. So that's how much we know about them.
I went with the Sacramento fighter, so I feel good about myself.
Listen, I love when, well, let's say this, Kev. Do they both have shadows or are they actual photos?
No. Actual people. People.
That's a step up because when they're shadow people, then, we don't really know who they are. But if they have photos, A+ to you guys. And we're excited to get to see you.
Isn't that fucked up? You make it to UFC and they don't have your photo. I'd be pissed.
I would be too. It's like, how hard is it to ask me for a fucking selfie? Like, just put it wherever. Yeah.
And I want to make it very clear to people, I'm not very good at jiu-jitsu, but I'm very good at all the rest of the stuff. So I'm pretty sure I'm that person who follows up and goes, oh, here's all of my photos and my bio. All the things that fighters normally don't do, I do. They're like, yeah, but how do you fight? Ooh, not well.
I'm sold. Raph is in this card. I think you would do well.
Hey,
it's in LA.
He's going to get his, you know what, for us out here, like there are some guys, like they never get their medicals done and they never get their, but I've always been smart enough to handle my medicals, get my P-test and do all that shit that I needed to get done. And JM would say that all the time, oh, Zach, he only gets in because he's good at emails. He said that.
Well, the joke we have about one AJ, and I want to be very clear about this.
Emails is funny, by the way.
AJ Agazarm sent me a happy birthday message, and when he did so, he sent a video, and he was wearing a beret, and he put it on my Facebook, and he goes, oh, hello, Rafa Esparza. Happy birthday. And I thought, this is the type of thing you normally see from somebody who reveals that they've kidnapped your dog and your wife. And I just had a moment where I go, is this a good happy birthday message or is he threatening to kill me? I'm not really sure. But I'll continue by saying the joke we always say about AJ Agazarm is, man, he must write a fuck of a good follow-up email.
I totally get that.
So I think we're on the same page there. Let's continue on, gentlemen. There's a welterweight match between Curtis Millender and Max Griffin. Kevin, you start us off on this. 15.
Okay. Fine. You know what? I'm going with Curtis Millender, though I hate that nickname with such a passion. But Curtis Millender.
Okay. All right, Zach, what do you got for us?
I'm going to take Max Griffin because he sounds athletic, and man, that's all I got. I don't know some of these freaking guys, man. I don't know what the deal is. What's
These are
UFC
prelims.
thinking?
These are all prelim cards that you don't.
These are prelims?
On.
Yeah, and to be very clear, gentlemen,
some of them early prelims, as they're called in the card, which is below pre-prelims.
Pre-prelims. The interesting thing about this is when you see all of these names, and I could give you time to talk shit about each other, but let's go in on Curtis for a second. Kev, what is his nickname again?
Curtis.
Ugh.
Curtis Millender.
Zach, what was your nickname? Did you have one when you were fighting?
One time a guy called me Zach the Maniac Maslany, but that's not my nickname. I tried to go with the no nickname, like a Nick Diaz. You know what I mean? Like you don't need a, you know what I mean? He doesn't need a nickname. Although my favorite nickname probably of all was Jesse Water Bongfelt. I think that was probably my favorite one.
Sure.
That is a pretty good one. This week, and this is topical news, getting all up in your business, somebody actually referred to me as the mayor. And I was like, what? And they're like, Raph, you're like the mayor. And I go, why? And they go, you're the mayor of jiu-jitsu because every time I see you, you're shaking hands and kissing babies. And I was like, yeah, that's about right. So
hey, that's cool, man.
Yeah, so I put it up to a popular vote because here's the thing. I didn't give it to myself. I know that's what you cannot do about nicknames. And I put it up to a vote, and there was 54% of respondents who said no, 46% who said yes. And then I told them, hey guys, guess what? Little history lesson. Your vote, like the popular vote, means dick. I'm going with it. Fuck y'all. So
actually, you know what? Someone has called me the Reverend before because I have become an ordained minister, and I married a couple of my friends. So maybe I'm the Reverend.
Are you also a polygamist? Because we could just call you married, or you just perform the ceremony. I think I'm getting it.
I just perform the ceremony.
Okay.
But no,
sorry, Ref. I heard the vowel wrong. We're good.
No, Kev. And here's the thing I like about the Reverend. If you really stay with that one, the reason being is because you can go with the language of reading people their first and last rites. So you can send them off to God. I mean, there's a lot of really good opportunities there, my man.
I was going to call him Zach the Garden Gnome. I'll keep thinking of him.
I might look more like a garden gnome, but if I have to, dude, I want to do like a. And now a letter from Zach to the Corinthians. Dear Corinthians, what the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Go runneth and avoid my armeth bar.
Yeah, hey, we do have. Check this one out. We do have a guy I call that trains at our school from time to time. We call him the leg locking priest, and he actually is a Catholic priest, and he trains with Danaher and those guys every now and then, and he trains at another school, and then he stops in our place every now and then, and he actually is a Catholic priest. He's the leg locking priest. That's what I call him.
Does he have to go to confession every time he heel hooks somebody?
Should.
He does. You know what? He said to me one time, and he's really good at heel hooks. He said to me one time, he said, hey, you know what would really make your heel hooks a little bit better? And I said, what's that, Jared? And he said, if you convert to Catholicism. And I was like, oh. He's like, I'm not joking, but I am. I was like, okay.
That's awesome. I love that. All right. Well, let's go with God on this next one, gentlemen, because here's the best part of this. This is actually the match I think I'm the most excited about. It's a featherweight bout between Max Holloway and Brian Ortega. I'm giving 30 seconds on here because I'm definitely interested to hear what y'all have in mind for this one. Zach, you go first. 30 seconds. Go.
Boom, I'm taking Brian Ortega. That's my boy. I'm taking Jiu-Jitsu for the win, and I'm going to go with the Gracies, and I'm taking it back to Royce Gracie. I want Brian Ortega to come out in a fucking gi, put him in a guillotine, put him in a triangle choke, and just submit his way to victory.
Kev, what do you got for us, 30?
That's what I'm going with.
I want to dig deep in the soul of the righteous winner. I want to feel myself in a more elevated place, but sadly, there are times I see eye to eye with the devil, Raph, and this is one of those times. Brian Ortega.
Can I get a witness from the congregation?
Brian Ortega, can I get an amen?
Amen, brother.
I've never heard two whiter people take us to church more than I heard in those few seconds, but I'm glad the timer recognized that's enough of that. I want to tell you guys why I'm excited about this. Brian Ortega is a homie out this way, but Max Holloway is such a fucking beast in himself that I have no qualms over who wins this fucking fight, my friends. I am so excited to see Max Holloway get his fucking Hawaiian nah, bro, it's fine. I'm just smiling and I punch people. And Brian Ortega with this fucking quiet, nice guy assassinness that he's got, because every time they interview him, he's like, yeah, I've got a bad past, but I'm okay now. I just kill people in the octagon. I'm like, yeah, I like you too. Yeah, you guys both check out. A+ is for everybody here. So I'm excited for this one. All right, let's go to our next fight. It's a bantamweight bout, and it's between two individuals who might be two of our favorite names on the show. Not fighters, just names, for those of you paying close attention. It is a bantamweight fight, and Kevin, you're going to start us off on this one between Rafael Ascow and Rob Font.
You know where I ride. As long as I switch from Times New Roman to Calibri, because I will never be trapped in the chains of Microsoft Word default history. Not me. I'll even Bolivia Bold it if I have the time. Rob Font.
All right, Zach, what do you got for us on this one?
Was the guy's last name Ascow? I'm sorry, I missed that one.
It's Rafael Assunacao.
Asuncao.
Asuncao.
Nah, it's ass cow. I mean, if you really look at the English translation, it's ass cow.
Ascow. Well, I'm going to have to take Ascow on this one because I think he's going to delete Rob Font and put him into a submission.
Hold on, I really want to take this for a split second, Kevin. Nobody has ever come back at you with a fucking
no one's
pun.
ever had another counter font pun.
Nobody
feels
came
so
back
good.
with a
All
pun.
delete.
He just logged off, Raph. He's logged off. He's not interested.
The range of this show, just to let you guys know, we went from priest jokes and Catholicism to puns on fonts. Can't get any comedy like this anywhere else. Lightweight bout. Zach, you start us off. It's between Landau Calrissian, Venata, and Drake Close. So that's what you got.
I'm going to have to take the Star Wars guy, and I feel like he's going to take the towers of Babylon or wherever they're at and, shoot a bunch of Star Trek things and Worf and, Klingons and shit like that.
All right. I think you have alienated every type of nerd except those who love Lord of the Rings. Kevin, what do you got for us
Does
on
that
this
mean
one?
he took Lando Venata?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to be contrarian, and I think I'm pretty okay with this based off of the analysis I've heard, I'm going with Drakkar Malfoy Close, and he can have that nickname, and he should take it, but he looks crazy.
I dig it. All right.
He has a Michigan tattoo. Not a guy you want to fuck with. Not a guy.
A Michigan tattoo. No, thank you.
That's scary. They're drinking the waters out there in Flint, Michigan. I should have known that.
You should have known.
I want my pick back.
Let's go to lightweight here. It's a nice one. I like this one. I'm interested to hear what you guys have on this one. Kevin, you start us off. It's 15 seconds on the clock to tell us who's going to win, Michael Cheeseman or Anthony Pettis. Go.
Well, I've had a conversation with Michael Chisay's sports psychologist he's been seeing since the near-death experience with a moving box hauler, I believe is the scientific term. And Anthony Pettis, you know what? I like the Showtime for a rendezvous. Too much tattooing for the Chisay. I'm going Showtime, keeping it old school.
Love it. Zach, what do you got for us?
Well, I know Anthony Pettis has been working real hard over there with CM Punk and his whole crew, so I'm going to have to take I'm definitely going to have to take Michael Chisay to take him down, take his back, choke him out. For sure. Unless, I don't know, unless CM Punk could come through for him.
Okay. Kev.
You take the bait.
I thought we were done on CM Punk. I thought we did it.
Nope. People from Pennsylvania are still pissed off.
We're still pissed off about that, believe me. That's not gonna set in for a couple more years yet until I really, get that off my chest.
It's what happens when you have easy access to good sandwiches. Here in Denver, I don't have a good sandwich, so I have to be worried about other things like sandwiches. You can take that for granted and just stroll right past it, so you're still pissed. I get it.
So this is the part of the show when I like to remind people there is usually a wager that happens here. Kevin, what are the kinds of wagers that we have done on this show to those who have participated in Over Under, Kevin?
Social media shout-outs. Yoel versus Twitter. I have to admit I was wrong to Yoel Romero on air, which sucks. Taking fun pictures and making those as the profile photo. And in podcaster's case, I'll trade you 5-star review for 5-star review. So loser has to write a 5-star review about the winner's podcast.
So those have been the types of things that we've done in the past. Now, keep in mind, Zach, we always defer to the guest, and we allow them to come up with the first suggestion as to what the bet should be. And mind you, we all do jiu-jitsu, so none of us make any money, so it's not money. Right. Without saying, if you have one and what it is, do you have one potentially in mind? And remember, don't say what it is if you do. But do you have one in mind?
Sure. I got one right now.
Okay, great. So here's what's going to happen. We got 3 more fights. At the very end of that, we'll ask you what it is. So if you haven't figured it out and you were just lying to me, you've got some time to cheat on the homework and get back to us.
Nice.
So we've got a light heavyweight bout. We got a light heavyweight bout between Goken Saki, which I believe is a place I ate at, and it's delicious, versus Khalil Robert Roundtree Jr. And Zach, you start us off on this one.
I'm taking the sushi place for the win on that one. I heard that they have really good egg rolls and the sweet potato The sweet potato roll is the best. I would go with that one for sure. Actually, that guy's a kickboxer and he's a beast, so I'm going to take him.
Okay, I like that. Kevin, what do you have for us?
I don't know. Saki versus Roundtree Jr. Like, I have got to go with Roundtree. Just first of all, people from the Netherlands cannot fight. I know that for a fact. I have seen those Dutch weakness in person. Can't fight. They like to fight. They like to talk about it. They love brunch. Can't fight. Khalil Roundtree Jr.
Okay. I heard some dissent over on Zach. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to say your piece.
Dude, if it ain't Dutch, it ain't much. They're the ones who came up with kickboxing. So this dude, I believe, he's got he fought in K1 and all types of stuff. So this guy's an animal.
He's got the hips
Kevin?
for it. That's for sure.
Your response, Kevin?
Guy's chunky. In this picture, the rebel, it's like not as tightly kept as you'd want from your mixed martial artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks like Fedor, kind of. That's what it reminds me. So he has a couple of Budweisers on the weekends. What's the big deal?
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's just not.
Hold on, we're stealing that as a T-shirt. There's a couple of Budweisers of the weekend. What's the big deal?
I mean, they're just not the sponsor of the UFC anymore, so that we're all about the Modelo now. Just making sure people know that. You would know that if you saw any of the fucking commercials with Stipe Miocic walking around being like, "Oh, is this a Modelo?" Nom 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 nom. So anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Middleweight bout between Uriah Hall and Paulo Costa. Kevin, you start us off. 15, go.
First of all, I've never been more excited to see someone back in the cage I kind of thought had accidentally retired. Oops. Uriah Hall, baby. I got UFC tough allegiance here. He's going to back kick him into oh, God, we interviewed him and I forgot his name. It doesn't matter. Uriah Hall.
Or
who?
Adam Sella, Bubba
Adam
McDaniel.
yeah,
we interviewed all those people.
Yeah.
Who he basically kicked in the face.
Look out.
Which
you're about to get Uriah Hauled, Paulo Costa. There's a lot of abs in this fight. I will say that. Most abs in any fight, I think. This one.
What do you got for us on this one, Zach?
Can I take the same guy? Is that legal? Or
absolutely. No? I already took the same guy as you in a moment of pure weakness.
True. I have to take him because JM used to train with him back in the day, and I feel like this one, if I am the Reverend, I'm going to have to be reading Paulo Costa's face his last rites because he might kick it into the stands.
Hold up. Let's discuss this. JM has trained with him before?
Yeah, he used to. So back in the day, JM trained with Tiger Showman, and so did I years ago. And he used to spar up there a bunch with the guys like Jimmy Rivera and all the Tiger Showman guys like Shane Burgos, all the guys that are in UFC right now. He used to spar with them a lot. I was already gone by that time, but he did. I don't know if he went like live rounds with Uriah Hall because he's huge, but I'm sure they, you know what I mean. I'm sure they mixed it up. Uriah is the man. I love that dude.
It's awesome. It's good stuff to know. All right, gentlemen, we've now made it to the very final match of the night. It is a heavyweight bout that was primarily promoted through this season of The Ultimate Fighter, which nobody saw. So therefore, you might be excited about it. Gentlemen, it is a heavyweight bout between Stipe, Miocic, and DC, Daniel Cormier. Zach, you start off on this. I've got 30 seconds on the clock for you to speak on. Go.
I'm going to have to go with Stiopic on this one. I feel like he's just he's like a dude who's from another country. He's like one of those real hardened white guys. He's not like a regular white guy, although he lives in Cleveland. He's definitely not just a regular white dude, so I'm going to have to take him. He's going to be tough. You can punch him in the face. He don't feel it. He's coming forward. That guy's going to knock the shit out of DC. I'm sorry, but that wrestling ain't going to take him over on this one.
Interesting. Kevin.
I agree. He's fighting up. And that's weird, but champ on champ, except Stipe's not getting to 205, and Daniel Cormier just barely did when he grabbed a towel for dear life. It's going to be an ass beating.
Ooh, yeah.
Going to be Stipe style. Plus, as he aforementioned, but cannot be overstated enough and was a highlight, Cleveland sucks. There is nothing to do but have to fight. Stipe Miocic for the Cleveland Sucks corner.
I want to be very clear on this. So you guys aren't giving any credit to DC, who's fighting at his natural weight, which is all of it.
Natural weight.
This human being, I mean, think about it. This is one of the few times he doesn't have to cut weight, which I'm sure he looks to the heavens above. Does that make him lazier, or does that actually hinder him at all, Kevin? What do you feel on that?
Oh, you know it. Skinny people are angrier, especially if you're used to being, come on. If you're trying to lose 15 pounds lower than you would ever be naturally, you're pissed off. You're just pissed off. So when you go in and you face another person at 205, that it's just like fucking donuts, and you punch them harder. You know this. You know this. So I think this is real.
They 100% both look like people who say donuts before they punch. But go on, Zach.
Yeah, I was going to say, or does DC feel really comfortable because maybe, all that jelly donuts he's eating is like kind of coating the jelly will give him like a layer of skin that is kind of like toughens for him, so the punches don't really land as hard. And he feels more comfortable because he's at his normal weight and he can eat, Krispy Kremes or whatever you guys are eating out there. And he can really get in there and feel good and not feel all drawn out. So
it's something that I've heavily considered where, you figure kind of like those comic book villains that you kind of feed them like a doomsday, and he goes, I'm eating donuts and growing stronger. And I wonder if that's what is in the case for him. I want to bring up one thing, and Zach, I'm going to ask you this. The big rumor on the streets is, and you're from the streets, so you know these things, but
yes.
Brock Lesnar is being touted as somebody who's going to confront the winner of this match. How interested are you to see Brock Lesnar versus Stipe or DC?
I'm not really interested. I mean, I'll watch it, obviously, just like I watched Ken Shamrock fight Royce Gracie and Kimbo fight Tank and all this other shit. I'll watch it, and I'm sure I'm interested in it to see it as another fight. But I feel like UFC's lost who's the best anymore. They're not really interested in who's the best. They just want to bring in, big-name dudes from other places and, putting like that CM Punk thing, putting him on the main card. I just know so many guys here on the East Coast that deserve shots at UFC. And not that Lesnar doesn't, because he was champion. He did beat some good guys. But, man, I hate to see guys get the fast track like that. Maybe it's me because I've always had to work hard for shit, and I've never got, that fast track up. But that's just how I feel. I mean, but I'll watch Brock take an ass kicking again if they really want us to. I mean, I ain't going to pay for it, though. I'll, illegally stream it or something.
Got it. No, I heard you. East Coast. It all came through. So here's the interesting thing about all this. I'm so intrigued as to why the UFC thinks every single time that the stop-loss way of their pay-per-view sliding is sliding Brock Lesnar, who has been a pay-per-view draw for them. But I don't know that that magic makes sense anymore, and that they're going to spend a lot of money to bring him back in. Plus, he has to come in for USADA testing if he's looking to get on that December card, which is what I think they're trying to make the person of this win. Because if DC wins against your guys' wishes, he's going against Father Time as his biggest opponent. And he says that he has a few opponents left, one of which is Brock Lesnar he'd love to have a fight with. So this is a very interesting set of scenarios that we have amongst ourselves here, gentlemen. All right, Kev, do me a favor. As a tiebreaker, we always have to say what we think the fight of the night and the two performances of the night are going to be, just in case you guys, for whatever reason, on the ones that you agreed on, because I think there's about 3 of them, just saying, what do you see being the fight of the night and the two performances of the night? Go.
This is easy. Performance of the night 1 goes to Ortega. Performance of the night 2 goes to Francis Ngannou, my main French man. And fight of the night, don't overthink it here, people. Venata versus Close. Kidding. Miocic Cormier.
I really like the idea that you told people not to overthink it and then demonstrated it beautifully.
Then almost overthought it.
Yep. All right, Zach, what do you got for us? Fight of the night, two performances of the night.
Yeah. I think I think fight of the night's gonna definitely be Ortega and Holloway. I think that's definitely got to be fight of the night, and it could end up being performance of the night if someone pulls out, because Ortega's got he's got the knack for pulling out fights at the end, even when he's losing. So that could definitely be performance of the night. And to be honest, I'm not giving DC a chance, but if DC wins, he'll get performance of the night for sure. If he can pull it out of his ass and win that fight and ride him with wrestling and stuff, I think he would get performance of the night. But fight of the night's got to go Ortega Holloway. That's going to be a barn burner.
Okay, so I heard one definite pick, which was Ortega Holloway.
He also would
Yes.
technically then say Ortega as performance of the night as well.
Yeah, sure. Or you can, if that ends up being a tiebreaker, give me DC if he wins. I'll take the underdog.
Okay, so just to be very clear, because we're not trying to trick you here, it sounded like you were playing both sides, to quote one Sean Connery in the movie Entrapment, which was also brought up here earlier. People, when you're
I
playing
thought you were
both
talking about
sides,
that movie Face Off, when they had to take Nicolas Cage's face off and put it on John Travolta's.
no more drugs for this guy. All right,
Well,
all right,
both.
all right.
Hold on, both faces ended up on each other. It wasn't just a 1-for-1 situation. You know, where's the interest in that?
You remind me of a great Georgia peach. Thanks, Nick Cage. I love that too.
That was pretty good.
Well, I mean, I can do The Rock as a one-man show as both Nick Cage and Sean Connery. This is the gift that I have. But of course, for the performance of the night, we have a problem here. He put down Ortega, did he not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you also put down DC as your other one? Like, that's you banking?
Yeah, that's my A1B, dude. I'll take DC. I don't care.
Okay, just saying. Hey, listen, it's your life, not mine. And now we come to the part of the show. We defer to the guest and we say, "Sir, what did you have in mind, if anything, for a possible bet for whoever wins this game?"
I think the loser has to do a 30-second to 1 minute social media promo clip for whatever of the winner's liking. So if it's a podcast, if it's a tournament, if it's just you yourself, if you want me to, if I lose, if you want me to do a 30-second promo, how Raph is the man, I would have to do that.
I won't.
And vice versa.
But I like the options.
I definitely like the idea of him doing the bet just like this, though, Kev. Especially saying, like, it's whoever wants to give, like, a promo for a 30-second tournament. I don't know. Maybe one happening August 11th to 12th, I guess.
August 11th.
If that's where you guys want to be. I mean, finishes 6. That's fine. It's a good thing, too. I'd be there. So that's a good way of promoting. Kevin, do you accept these terms?
I accept these terms.
Gentlemen.
Science. We have a deal.
We do have a deal. Now, let's do this because I want the people to know where to find you, Zach. Where can the people find you, sir?
You can find me on Instagram at Zach, Z-A-C-H, Maslany, M-A-S-L-A-N-Y, and that's pretty much it. You can get me on there. I have Facebook. If you want to listen to our podcast, Finishers Podcast, and I just started my own podcast where I just talk about 10, 15 minutes on absolutely whatever I feel like it, and that's called Zach's Corner, and that's on iTunes too.
Now, I have to ask this. Is there trouble in paradise? Are you guys still friends? Because,
Oh, you mean the podcast, you mean?
I'm just wondering. I mean, I know you guys are okay on the gym side, but like...
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the thing is, Ross, the guy who does all the technical work and plugs things in and unplugs things for us, he is working in D.C. a lot, so I don't get to see him as much. And before, me and JM used to live together, so it was a lot easier for us to do the podcast, on a weekly basis. But now it's a little bit more difficult. So I'm sitting at home sometimes by myself, and I'll just throw my little microphone on and do my own little podcast. So, but yeah, me and JM are great, man. We were just teaching a seminar earlier this morning. So, team us.
Yeah, he's sleeping on the couch and we're both drinking a lot more wine. What of it?
What of it?
FinishersJujitsu.com if you want to go
Yes.
put your ass where your money is and earn 2500. I'm from
Kevin.
Kansas. I'm sorry. I struggle with numbers.
Listen, I would have loved for them to have 25,000 to give.
155-pound lightweight division, 60-man, August 12th, 10 a.m. at Subforce Jiu-Jitsu, Lyndhurst, New Jersey. You
Yes,
guys
sir.
just
Yep.
this is cool
Featuring
stuff.
your guys, Joey Haas, Eric
Whoa!
Medina. And one thing I want to mention too is even in our open tournament, all the referees would have been or have been in EBI already. So we'll have JM, who's combat jiu-jitsu. We'll have Mike Padilla, who's in EBI. We'll have
He's
we're
amazing.
going to have a bunch of different guys on. So John Battle, he was in EBI. So we'll have all the EBI
great.
vets are on the East Coast. They're going to be reffing the tournament. So we got guys who know what the fuck's going on. As well.
FinishersJujitsu.com. That's awesome.
In that ass. I don't know why we have to say that all the time, but
You don't have to.
You really don't have to. No, it's like a
100%.
controversial.
we have to.
I mean, you do you, but here's the great thing. We want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. Zach, would you love to come back next week after the fights and talk with us and find out who won?
Hell yeah, man. I would love to do this anytime, man. I'd love to get you guys on our podcast too, if possible, if Ross ever gets his shit together and figures out how his schedule. No, I'm busting his balls. He's busy, but I really appreciate what you guys are doing, man. I love listening to your show. I love all the guys you have on. I appreciate you guys, what you guys are doing for the sport, man, helping me out, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course, dude. And, you know, Kevin and I are gluttons for going on just about any show. I mean, literally any show. It's not a problem for us. But you and JM always do great work, and we love when y'all do your thing. So let's do this. Why don't we bookmark this time next week? You'll come back on the show or something, and then we'll discuss how the fights went, and we'll find out who won over under Kevin.
I love it. Science.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Maslany.
Thank you, guys.
Ref, I apologize to do this, but in accordance with the Lone Star Grappler, I need to put you on mute.
Okay.
I owe someone very important to this podcast an apology.
Okay, and I feel like this was a weird loss that you had a few weeks ago.
This was a bullshit loss, but the judge is an asshole in the whole situation. I don't mean to lash out, but it's not on my side.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, Ref. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the first to do a mea culpa when the time has come, and the time has come. I lost a bet, which means I need to say hello to my soldier of God fortune. I need to embrace that within me that says no to the light. I need to understand that Jesus loves everyone, and there's no one better to help me do that than current not champion, keeps losing to Kevin Whitaker, Yoel Romero. Yoel, thank you for coming on today.
This is goal for Yoel Romero.
Okay, hot fired. No one understands what you're saying early, so I just want to get this out. I think you're a real stand-up dude. Athletically, I'm impressed by your prowess. Can I ask, a lot of steroids, a little steroids, or we just pray about it amount of steroids?
I'm not sure what your question is asking, but if you were asking about my giant muscle, they're from God. It's God soldier, not steroid soldier.
Well, it's yes and night here with Yoel Romero. This hurts, by the way, to the one-star grappler out of Texas.
I was told that you were going to apologize.
I am going to apologize. That's what I'm getting to. Don't rush me, first of all. I'm trying to build up the muster. Look,
take it easy. I'm supposed to be on here for 5 minutes. So, drag this out if you can with your words.
I'm doing fine. Here's my problem. No, excuse me. You're right. I'm supposed to guide this. You're the man. You know, all you did was, in its simplistic version, confusingly cheer for something you're passionate about. And who am I to shit on that? You know what I mean? Like, I think you're a pioneer in that way.
Okay, so again, I'm not sure what you were talking about, but I loved you. Yeah?
Yeah. This is a love situation. You and I, there's more that unites us, definitely, than divides us, because you seem like someone that also maybe likes food.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, sometimes I have food before I get on scale, and then I go, oh, no.
Okay, well, that's not exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm worried maybe I'm not bridging the language divide. As crisply.
How much more time does you have to spend on this thing?
Genuinely, 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, this is a good time to pray, I guess, as much as any. I want to pray for you. I want you to pray for this show. Yoel, I pray that endurance comes with age. Like a fine wine, you discover a more athletic component to your game than is previously noticed. And I hope, Lord, that you are listening and that you give Yoel the strength of 1,000 lesbians. You know what I'm saying? I think we can come together there. And give him the clarity to make one effing post-fight speech we all understand. Amen. Praise her holy godness. All right, Yoel, your turn. You can pray for this show.
Okay, so I read you a funny that I did this week.
Cool.
Okay,
So
so
like Jean-Claude Van Damme, just in your awesomeness. It's like you two should be friends.
I want to tell you that you should have won so that I wouldn't have to spend my time on here.
Fair.
Okay, so
We both should have. Wink.
I will not dignify that with a response. So, here's the funny that I did. Me, Joel Romero.
This will take us home.
Yes, it's very hard to talk, so shut up. So, Joel Romero changed his Twitter to People's Champ. Okay? Why Joel do that?
No one knows.
I mean, think about it.
Okay.
Because I beat Bobby.
Oh.
And
No, you didn't.
he said that I no use steroid. What you try to say about me?
No one.
So I take USADA or USADA letter and I redirect the Dear Yoel to Dear Rob. So it says, Dear Rob, the USADA say blah, 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 no steroid. All natural me.
Verbal Tap fans. The one, the only. Yoel Romero.
Am I done now?
Yeah, you're done. You're out.
Okay, bye everybody. I love you. Bye.
Da, 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 da. Raph, what a podcast we had here this evening. I'm going to invite you back. I really enjoyed your friend, Zach Maslany. Fine human being. He was okay. Little Philadelphia for my taste. Just
Sure.
a little. Not like too much, but
You know what's weird? I heard things were always sunnier there.
I did too, but I've been there. They aren't. They're grayer.
Not the curs.
Shout outs, Raph. I am just going to give a massive one to the beer vendors just outside of the Cherry Blossom Festival in Denver, Colorado. What a time to live here in the beautiful heartland. I have been doing just some good eating, searching. I've been joking that in response to Raph's bullshit wrestling lessons, I'm in the market for a yoga instructor. So my shout outs include anyone that can hook me up with some sort of Shaw person to make me Gumby flexible while my asshole friends study wrestling. That'll, and massive props out to the Jabera crew, doing some more promotions, making some more blues, purples, browns, killers. Congrats out there to the Jabera side quests. And Raph, massive shout out to friend of the podcast, Travis T Money Conley, who's teaming up with Longboards to start offering some healthy meals. Healthy meal service.
That's
Local
great.
healthy meal service. That's what people want. I am all done.
Okay, well, that's great. And, you know, Kev, it's really hard to hear you go through things. Like, I couldn't be nicer about saying, Kevin, how are you doing? Are you enjoying your life? Are you good? Or is everything okay?
A yoga Shaw person.
I'm just training some wrestling. I'm trying to keep the weight off. I'm just trying to lose some weight. I'm just trying to better myself.
Boo.
Then it becomes Kevin being like, yeah, well, I'm going to find somebody who teaches me yoga to crush you. And I'm like, well, okay.
To not get crushed by you is the
No,
specific
no,
point I was
no,
making.
no.
Hammer
That's not
and
the specific
anvil style. I want to be like, oh, is that water I just tried to tackle?
Wow. Listen, we're so far away from me talking shit to you that I don't understand how you can't take the nice version of me, which is like, Kev, it's going to be so great to train with you. You're great. I'm rooting for you. I'm on your side. And Kevin be like, no.
Gus.
All right. Anyway, all right. Here are my shout-outs.
Drug you right down to my level.
You're trying to, except I am above that, Kevin. I am waiting for the time when everything's healthy, and then I can talk all the copious shit that I have been storing up. So all you're doing is just making the doomsday version of me grow so that when I am unleashed and you are okay again, I break your leg again. And I don't want to do that, but you're making me do that. Speaking of which, shout out to John Combs, who won his fight to win match. I sent him a congratulations, and his response back to me was, "Hey man, can't wait to show you my great attacks from Mount." What? Why?
No.
Why, John Combs? I can't even say nice things to you, John Combs, so I guess it's a recurring theme. Anyway, people want to kill me, people, is I guess what I'm trying to say here. So kudos to him. Let's also give kudos to JJ and Nadine from Victory, who took both championships from the Tough Enough over in Vegas. Big shout out there. I think Alima also won on Bellator, so shout out to her with a third round armbar. Really good weekend for our friends. A lot of our friends were winning MMA fights. If I didn't shout you out, I'm very sorry. But everybody did great. Very excited about that. All right, let's go on a little bit further. CXF, I'll be there. Again, I want to remind you guys, CXF, heavy hitters, MMA ticks. Buy your tickets. Come say hello. Support local MMA. And come say hi to me. I'll be around. I mean, even if I'm taking photos, I'll kind of like give you a thumbs up or something. Anyway, so there's that. Shout out to the Los Angeles Jiu-Jitsu Club.
LAJJC.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. with Joey. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Yee with one, Eric Medina. So you guys heard they've got some big super fights. Come train with us, you guys. Let's get them ready to go out, represent well out on the East Coast. And then big shout out to Valley Martial Arts Center.
Mark.
Some phenomenal training going on over there. And I also was very happy to see all the people going to crush it and continue going on. And, you know, one last shout out to one Kevin Phillips, because he never responded to this. And I feel like he should be brought to be accountable for it. I very nicely said, "Hey, Kev, look at this article about the Ultimate Fighter house going on for sale." And he has not responded and said if we should do it. So my shout out is actually kind of like an anti-shout out.
I'm still waiting on my accountant to get back to me from Verbal Tap side if we can swing it. It's
we
like,
cannot.
That's my
However,
dream. It's like,
I'm just saying.
Vicky, pack the mutts. We're going to fucking Vegas.
I love the fact that Marshall Carper, our good friend, said, "Why is Kevin the only one getting an invite?" I mean, also, how gross must that place be? And at which point I said, "Listen, we can timeshare the fuck out of this." And one Vincent Kachakbito said, "I'd like to be an investor in this purchase, Mr. Esparza." So, I mean, we've got a real thing here. And if you guys are really interested in buying the Ultimate Fighter house, then hit us up and bring at least another 100,000 investors, and in no time we can put down a down payment to win that house.
Yeah, let's all get a GoFundMe going.
Absolutely. And I think that's going to do it for me, Kev.
That'll do it for us tonight here at Verbal Tap. I'm Kevin, and I just responded. It's always hard to tell who I responded as.
No, you did. You did it the right way. Good night and good fight, everybody.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...